think we're on. We're working. Yay. Hello everyone. It's me. I'm back. I'm just going to pour myself another beer because I've got to show you this because it's like really good. Camera angle. It's a beer keg. It's a bit slow at pouring, mind. So I'll do that while the titles are playing. Hi, this is Dave. Just does what it says on the tin. Nearly done. Be right with you. How cool is that? Cheers. Well, I actually only missed 1 week off the air, if you count the fact that Dave ran my show last week and I was kind of on it, and it feels like I've been away for ages. Just to remind everybody, the reason I wasn't here was I was in Germany. I spent the first weekend over there, and then the second weekend really sort of getting everything back together and organised. So I did visit the Oktoberfest 3 times. And I've got a little bit of footage of that coming up. I've also been trying out in the last couple of days these Dual Coil atomisers. So I'm going to I'll explain when we get there, but I've got a little bit of a VT I put together the other day on that. And I've also got a new toy, which I'm going to be having a good look at under the close-up camera, which is playing up at the moment, but that's okay. So I thought we'd start because, well, a bit of a tangent. I've been using Google Plus, and I know a few people who watch this show are also using Google Plus, and I have to say it's brilliant. It's so much better than Facebook. But I've been posting things on there, and people have been asking me things and about, well, mostly about beer. So I thought I've managed to crib together a few minutes worth of footage of the Oktoberfest, which I thought some people might like to see. But just before I run that and explain what I've been up to over the last couple of weeks, I just wanted to put to bed a myth, because in a show, it could have been last week, it could have been a few weeks ago, and I mentioned I was going to the Oktoberfest, and the subject of lederhosen came up, and somebody in chat told me that there was a law that women are not allowed to wear lederhosen, and I knew I'd seen them. I'd seen a couple wearing lederhosen, so I checked that out, actually, a bit of investigative journalism, and apparently it's not illegal, it's just kind of frowned upon. The girls are supposed to wear the dresses, and you'll see plenty of them, the dirndl. But it seems to be, especially with some of the younger girls, a bit sort of fashionable to wear lederhosen during the Oktoberfest fortnight. So you'll see this in more detail when I run the VT, but just, you know, I think of lederhosen and I think of fat German blokes with the litre glasses, singing along and everything. But if that's the vision you've got of women in lederhosen, maybe this will change your mind. See, worn properly, it can be a very good thing. You know, you might think that it's a bit disgraceful for a guy to go around with a video camera, because those are stills from some VT that you're about to see. You might think that's even like it's out of order, maybe even a little perverse, but I call it investigative journalism. Somebody told me it was illegal. What could I do? I had to gather the evidence. Oh, I'll get on with it. Here is, condensed into 5 or 6 minutes, a brief, very brief little summary of my third and final trip to the Oktoberfest with a group of guys from work. It's fairly self-explanatory. See what you think. It's Tuesday, the 27th of September, and I'm just about to leave the hotel and make my way to the Oktoberfest with a bunch of guys from work. So it is a bit of a work stu, so I'm going to have to be a little bit sort of sensitive with any videoing I do, but I'm sure I'll get some footage so you can see what goes on at the Wiesn. Yeah, let's see what I can get.
It's a hot brown tent, if you can hear me. One of my colleagues, he doesn't realise he's going to be on YouTube next week. No! The hot brown house tent. It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Thank you.
Yeah, just responding to some of the comments in chat there. It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. The place is just amazing. I did that diary sometime back in July, I think it was, and they were building the tents, and we were saying how big they look. They get 6 million people through there in the 2 weeks that it runs. And the thing that stands out for me is the fact that the locals go, but there's an equal number of tourists. So the Hofbrau tent that we ended up in the end there is not where the locals go. The locals tend to get into some of the other tents, and consequently you can't. If you don't book like a year in advance, you won't get a table. If you don't get a table, you don't get served. It's as simple as that. But that Hofbrau tent, 6,500 people in there. And you never have to wait more than a minute for a beer. I was talking to some of the guys that I work with who live locally, and they were saying that a good waitress can make between 13 and 20,000 euros, including tips, in that fortnight. So they're on a commission for what they sell. That's why you see them carrying like 10 of these things at once. I don't know how they do it, but I saw them doing it. I did try and get some video. On the subject of the video, that's the hardest video I have ever had to edit. I know it wasn't particularly pretty in places and it was a bit choppy. But, well, one, you try filming something like that after 4 of these. But secondly, those guys that are with you saw some fleeting glances there. Are the guys that I work with, and some of them, they renew my contract and they pay my wages. So it required quite a lot of editing. I think for the 7 minutes or something that we got there, I think I probably threw away about 3/4 of an hour. Particularly the later scenes. But it's great fun, great fun. The anybody that's thinking of going, yeah, it's not a family thing. It's going to be more fun if you're in a gang of friends, basically. Yeah, if you'd have asked me before last Tuesday night what the chances of me singing tacky Euro pop songs in a tent were, I'd have probably said they were quite slim. now I have no comment. So my boss commented in the Hofbrau tent as well. He said he loves those traditional Bavarian songs. They were playing AC, DC numbers, all sorts. It was just wild. It was great fun. We had a few pass out on us halfway through the evening. A few went missing. There were 4 of us left at the end of the night from a starting 11. Some of them showed up at work the next day, some didn't. Yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun. Right, anyway. Oh, yes, there was another comment as well about, what was it? Pabst Blue Riband. Is that, somebody's asking where the Pabst Blue Ribbon tent is. I don't know what is it. What is that? Is that some beer or something? I know there's a bit of a delay in chat, but I'm not sure if I'm just missing a joke or something, but there was, I don't know what that means. But we went in the, on that night we went in the Polana tent, which is one of my favourite beers, and the Hofbrau, and the Ochsenbratterei is where they roast the whole oxys, but it had gone by the time we got there. They roast 2 oxys a day, and they cooked them and sold them. And they sell Spattenbrau. And then at other times I've been in the Augustiner tent, which is one of the best ones. We were lucky to get in there. But no. Oh, I see. So PBR is an American beer. No, you won't find much American beer there, mate. In fact, the very mention of it seems to have people rolling about a bit, actually. But this stuff's good. This, you know, I mean, okay, this is not by any stretch of the imagination the best German beer, but it is a proper old 400-year-old traditional one, and they were selling it in the airport because, of course, you can't take more than about 100 ml of liquid through security now, so you can only really bring home what you can buy in the airport or put in your luggage. So it's all right though. It does the job. I could quite happily just sit here and do that. Oh, somebody mentioned, I think it was Gary Dibley mentioned as well, that he thought I was making a real tab. No, it's actually that Realis thing, that Libero thing, and there's a reason for it. I've been working with some sort of quite pokey atomizers over the last couple of days, and I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm on the old throat lozenges and what have you, and my throat needed a bit of a rest. It feels like it's been sandpapered, and this thing's quite sort of mild. It also feels kind of right with the beard, you know what I mean? So yeah, so that's what that's about. Anyway, shall we get on with it? So that's the end of Oktoberfest. It actually ends today, so it'll all be gone by the time I fly. Oh no, it ends tomorrow. Ends tomorrow, but I'm not flying out till Tuesday morning, so it'll all be over by the time I get there. So I hope you enjoyed that. I have got some other bits of footage, but some of it's on my iPhone and stuff, and I need to figure out how to get it onto the PC and edit it and stuff. But maybe I'll show that next week or sometime. Anyway, right, the next thing. And it concerns not the GGTS or the UFS. It concerns the atomizer that goes inside it. And I've been having a few issues with atomizers, so I've kind of started this quest, but it's all explained in this VT that's coming up. I think what we should probably do, we should probably start it with a Sting. Oh, 2 weeks away, and I have no clue where anything is anymore. Bum 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 bum. Found it. Anybody that knows me will also know that I do enjoy using my GGTS with UFS. However, lately I've been becoming a little bit frustrated with it. Not because of the device, but because of the inconsistency from one atomizer to the next that I put in there. I can buy an atomizer and it will perform really, really well, and then go back to the same vendor. And I'm not singling any vendors out here, I'm not going to mention any names because it happens across a variety of vendors. The next batch you buy, they don't work so well. And when they don't work so well in a GGTS, or specifically in the UFS, it can be a real pain. Now, when it's working properly, what I mean by work well, okay, I like a low resistance atomizer, something between 1.7 and 2 ohm 510 atomizers. That's what I like. They give me the throat hit and the balance of flavour and throat hit that I like. However, in the UFS, if they're not just right, then the juice doesn't flow properly. I'm not sure exactly what it is that affects the atomizer, but it's got to be something to do. The liquid is basically drawn through the little castellations, if you like, the little cutouts in the bottom of the atmosphere atomizer that are designed to let air through in normal use. That's where the UFS gets the juice into the coil so you can vape it. And if that feed isn't sort of consistent, then what you'll find is you're continually faffing and adjusting and flooding and burning it dry, and it shortens the life of the atomizer, and it's not actually a particularly enjoyable experience. So the quest is on to find the ideal UFS atomizer, for me at least. So with that in mind, I was talking to my friend Mr. Dawn, the hi-fi stud, and he suggested to me that he had tried some atomizers, and they are actually these dual coil, should I say, atomizers. So I had a word with Ben at UK Liquid and purchased a couple of these dual coil atomizers. I'm filming this on the Friday morning following getting home at sort of midnight on the Thursday night. So I've done nothing yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip down this UFS. Which is underperforming at the moment. And I'm going to try this atomizer in there and see if I have any luck. So let's do that. So I'll take the opportunity to give it a little clean up while I'm at it, because it's been a while. The first thing I'm going to do is close the air holes and turn off the flow of juice on the UFS. Battery should be okay. I'm going to see if I can save some of my juice. There we go. Get down to the business end of it. Now this atomizer I've got in, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, throat hit wise, when there's juice on it, it's been working really nicely. So it just doesn't feed properly. So I'm not going to throw this atomizer away, it's not dead. I'm probably going to use it on my other new toy. I'm probably going to film something about that in a short while as well. So obviously for those of you who've used a GGTS with a UFS, you'll know that with a normal 510 atomizer you put you get this little extension piece to make it fit in the UFS. Now I'm told that these dual coil jobbies are a bit bigger than a standard 510 atomizer. And indeed it is. And so therefore you don't need this extension piece. So we'll just have to put that somewhere safe. But I'm not sure if these got primer on or anything. Let's blow it through anyway, just be on the safe side. Nothing obviously coming out there. So this should fit without the extension cap, according to Mr. Dawn. Let's find out. Certainly looks about the right length. So I'm going to reassemble the UFS now. The new atomizer in. I've made sure that's good and tight. I pull down the battery connector pin first, screw that down tight, and then push that in, so you get a good solid battery connection. There's a bit of juice around there. Collector tank may need an empty. Worry about that another time. Put the thing back together now. I'll leave the air holes closed, but now it's assembled, I'm now going to turn the tap off by turning that anti-clockwise as far as I can. I'm going to fill it up with juice. That's plenty of juice. Put the top cap back on. Give it a little wipe while I'm at it. Now the first thing I'm noticing here is that the top cap here won't screw fully down, and I guess that's because of the extra length of the atomizer. So I hope that's not going to cause me a problem. But anyway, I can live with that if it's going to work for me. I'm going to open the air holes again. I like a reasonably tight drawer that helps to pull the liquid through. Let's see how this vapes. Well, that's the thing assembled. It's firing okay. And we turn the tap on a little. Let's see what happens. Well, the atomizer is obviously still a little dry, being brand new. Right, well, I'm going to have to mess around with this a bit, and adjust it, and find out how things should be set and everything. But I'll report back live on the show. At the moment, I can't seem to get it to work. Well, I'm clearly going to have to play with the airflow and the juice flow and adjust and fine tune and all the rest of it and find out what suits this atomizer. But initial signs are quite good actually. It's got a nice throat hit. I'm getting good flavour from it. If I can get the juice flow working right, then that'd be great. So I shall continue to mess with this. I've got a couple of days before my show goes on air, and I'll update you then. Couldn't wait till the show. This is about 10 minutes after the last comment. Still needs a little bit more tinkering, but this is good. I like this. There may be more. And there you go. So, just to recap, this is a dual coil 510 atomizer. Let's use another camera. We've only used one camera tonight. There we go. That's the packet it came in, and there it is. So, it's apparently got 2 coils under there. Now, I may be wrong, but I've got a funny feeling Dave Dawn may have had a look at those in his last show. I haven't had a chance to catch up yet. But I can tell you that they kick rather well. And so far, at least, it seems to be doing the job in here. Now, I'm still having to faff around a bit more than I'd like, but that's okay. As I say, I've had a bit of a sore throat, and I've been doing some other stuff as well this weekend, so you know, I've only spent a few hours probably persevering with it, but it looks like it's starting to come together. As you can see, there's vapour there, not as much as I'd probably like. And I think I'm picking up a comment there that they don't give a lot of vapour. That's maybe true. One thing I can tell you is that they're a bit rough on your throat. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse my cold. I'm clearly not drinking enough beer. It's good for your throat. So, I don't think this is the ultimate solution so far. But like I say, I've not given up on it yet. The flavour's really good. Like I say, the throat hit is more of a throat kick. But it's better than what I was using before, which has set me on this quest to find the perfect UFS atomizer. It's a little bit disheartening because I half suspect that when I find an atomizer that works as well as the best ones that I've had in there before, I'll get one and it's fine, and I'll go and order some more, and the inconsistencies in them will probably mean they won't be as good. So maybe I'm on a hide into nothing, but got nothing better to do with my time. So flavour's great, really good. So yeah, but that just you should definitely try one of these. They came from UK e-liquid, as I say. Dual coil, not dual core as I called them in the VT. I've been looking at new PCs as well, see. 510 atomizers. So this one I'm going to try in something other than UFS, and maybe next week or in some future show I'll do a comparison and see where we go from there. But for now, I'm just going to persevere with it in that UFS. There is juice feeding through better than the last one, so it's definitely an improvement. But I'm undecided as yet. So I'm just going to have another drink because my throat. I might be a coincidence, but I've noticed that this show gets easier the more I drink. It's magic, this stuff. Okay, so I said I've got a new toy, and I've got a new toy. And would you like to look at my new toy? You're going to anyway. We'll have another sting. Okay, so my new toy. Here it is. Get a load of that. Look at that beauty. Ooh. I got it second hand off the classifieds off UK Vapors. And it is a SuperT Precise. It's the P18. the 18 denoting 18650. Now, a number of people I've seen a number of people comment on these over the years. A lot of people say they're not worth the money, because it's $160 on the SuperT site. I should have checked. You can get them in the UK when they're in stock from Cloud9 Vaping, from Lisa. She stocks them. They do the 18650 version. I think it's a 14500, is it? And then there's a 10440 one as well. But I like 18650s. There'll be no prizes for anybody knowing that. I love 18650 mods, and as I said a little while ago, I was looking for a new mod to leave in Germany so I could bring the Silver Bullet back home, and this came up in the classifieds at what I thought was a good price, so I bought it, and it was waiting for me when I got back late on Thursday night. And I opened the packet, and I looked at it, and the first thought was, oh my god, what have I done? And the reason I was a bit worried when I first opened it was, I've got a couple of 18650 mods. I got the GGTS, and even if you ignore the UFS on the top, you can see it's quite a big thing. And I got the Silver Bullet, which is even fatter than that. And I took this out of the jiffy bag that it was sent to me in, and I looked at it and I thought, oh my god, it's not for an 18650. I actually thought I'd ordered something that took a 17670 or something like that. And I was thinking, oh no, I wanted an 18650 mod. And so I sort of rather hurriedly thought, okay, I've got to try it. And I popped a battery in it, and I realised, okay, it does fit. The point I'm trying to make is, it doesn't look big enough to take an 18650. I did a sort of covered in one of my shows. It wasn't really a proper review. That thing that's been sold as the No Ego, the 18650 version, and I remember commenting. It's also been sold as the E-Power or the V-Power or something. It takes an 18650. And I remember commenting that it was like the most compact 18650 mod I've seen. Not anymore. This thing is just big enough to take an 18650 battery. I mean, it really is so much smaller diameter wise than, for example, the GGTS, that it was hard to realise that you could get an 18650 in it. So that was a good start. I'll look at the mod, take it apart. I've said a number of times on this show and YouTube videos and on forums and stuff, I'm not a fan of mods that have got electronics in them. I think there's too much to go wrong. For that reason, my favourite mods are things like the Pure Smoker Icon, and the GGTS and the GGTB. The Silver Bullet, I know it's got a bit of wiring in it, in the switch. I can live with that. But really, I like mechanical mods, because it just gives me confidence that if it packs up one day and it's the only one I've got with me, you know, with my trusty mini tool, my trusty multi-tool, I can probably get it working again if something breaks. And this thing is simplicity itself. It's I mean, that's the first thing you notice, is that it is entirely mechanical, and the switch is really, really simple. It works by making contact with the battery like that. The second thing you notice about it is just how beautifully machined all these components are. They are absolutely perfect, and you can start to understand very quickly where the cost is, and all of a sudden it it stops seeming like an expensive extravagance, because you just know this isn't going to let you down. I may have given the game away here and prematurely given away the fact that I rather like this. The switch is that simple. There's nothing to fail. Battery against there, you push the switch, it contacts with the battery. It's gonna keep working for you. The threads are okay. Well, this is a stainless steel, I believe. Could be aluminium. Could be alley, with the caps made of stainless. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's stainless. Even though it's got like quite sort of hefty threads, they're totally smooth. Don't need any no locks or anything like that on there. Don't need any kind of lube. They're just really well made. Put the battery in. There's your atomizer cap. That's your positive contact. And a 510 thread on the other side. I really do get quite excited about workmanship like that. Absolutely brilliant. Feels solid. Threads are solid. Somebody has Noah locks this, and I think I'm going to scrape that out, because I think it's actually interfering with the thread slightly. You line it upright and it just goes in. It's lovely. So I've also got, he says, but you can't actually separate it until it's screwed into the mod, a SuperT drip tip, which is one of my favourites. I've been using it on that Ultramax thing, which is also very high quality. You saw how tightly it fits into the atomizer there. I couldn't remove it, and that's just a low resistance atomizer. I think that one came from Liberty Flights. Look, you can see his little logo on there. And I shall demonstrate. And then I shall tell you about the one thing that I don't like about it so far. God, that's good. I like these atomizers. No good in the UFS, because those of you that watch the VT, although I wasn't going to name the atomizer that came out of it, you may recognise this one. Gorgeous. Fires every time. It's adjustable. If you can adjust the throw of the switch slightly if you want. Because it's only just as big as it needs to be, it's very light, so I'm finding I can actually just hold it like that and operate it with my finger. So that set me back 100 quid. It's worth every penny to me so far. Every single penny. Very happy with that. And it's going to live in Germany for a while. So I'll mention, just before I carry on with the SuperT theme, and excuse my sweating, it's very hot. Very, very hot. I like it. There's one thing I don't like about it, and that's this switch the arrangement at the bottom. So with something like the Pure Smoker icon, and let's get a camera so you can see. With the Pure Smoker icon, you can turn the switch. Hang on, let's get that in shot. There we go. You can turn the switch to lock it. So if you put it in your pocket, it won't fire. Now, what they've tried to do with this is you can see that there's a slot basically into which you push the button. You see, it's cut away there. So if you press it that way, it shouldn't fire. And indeed, if you stand it on its end like that, it won't fire. You need to push the switch a little bit further into that sort of notched area to get it to fire. It does fire in your pocket. It's fine on a flat surface like that. You push that down as much as you like and it won't fire. But the fact of the matter is, if you've got a bunch of stuff in your pocket, I can still fire it by holding it the wrong way around, because my finger isn't perfectly flat. So that it's better than something like the screwdriver, where the button, you just need to press it and it'll fire. You know, and in defence of the screwdriver and Trog, he does recommend that you have half a turn on the atomizer or something like that, in case it does fire accidentally. And the screwdriver Mark II comes with a plastic cap that can stop you pressing the switch. But this is not a good solution. It's not a good safety mechanism, I don't think. But that's not going to bother me for what I'm going to use it for. It's not going to get much. It's not going to be in my pocket much. It'll be used mostly in a hotel room. Got it, it's good. Right, now I'm just going to continue the SuperT theme briefly, but first I've just got to top up my beer. So if you guys could just talk amongst yourselves for a second. And there's a good chance I'm going to finish a few minutes early on this show, so if anybody's got any questions about anything I've done tonight, fire away. I'll do my best. Doesn't fill up too quickly, this. Just reading through the chats. Something about putting batteries in upside down. Was that in the SuperT? I missed that, I'm afraid. I was rabbiting. That'll do for a minute. Right. Remember this thing? So I posted this picture on Google Plus a few days ago of the SuperT Ensemble. This is the Vape Mate. Now, in all those early videos, just before the Vape Mate was actually available for sale, SuperT Manufacturing were showing pretty much this arrangement. So it does look like some kind of dental apparatus. But I think that looks brilliant. So this is going to be my hotel room solution for a while, I think. Whew. Atomizer's not bad at all on this, is it? A stainless steel rampant rabbit. I like it. I can't get my coordination right tonight. There we go. There it is. It's all in shot now. Yes, so that's the SuperT Precise 18650 version, or the P18 as it's commonly known, affectionately known I may say. I think that's worth every penny, and I can see me checking out some more SuperT gear, because I did initially, when you're looking at these things when you're thinking of buying a mod, price wise it's more expensive than the GGTS. The GGTS that has all that loyal following and takes all those different batteries, and you can add the UFS to, and on the face of it the GGTS perhaps is slightly better value for money, but the GGTS in no way is poorly made. It's made incredibly well, and I love the intricacy and I love all the little component parts of it and everything. But this thing is it's simplicity itself. It's no more than it needs to be, and it gives me confidence. I can't see what's going to fail on that, and I predict it's going to get a hell of a lot of use from me. So I'm very happy that I've got that. And now, after all those low resistance atomizers, my throat is sore again. So I'll just have another swig of beer. And I might just go back to this and be a bit of a wimp. I reckon I'm about 1 day away from getting the old health cabin menthol out again. Try getting through customs with that in your hand. No chance. I would do it. I've done it with the Pure Smoker Icon, with the vape mate attached. I think the thing that always makes me nervous about going through, well, it's not customs, it's the security checkpoints that'll have you, you know, passport control, and customs won't give a damn. But the thing that always concerns me is I wouldn't try and go through with that, because they might just say, we don't know what it is, you can't take it. So if I've got to take a bottle through, I always stick to a 5ml bottle because I can afford to use it. And I've normally got in my bag a few sort of pre-filled cartomizers and that kind of thing. And then in my check-in luggage, I always check a bag in, and that's normally got quite a few supplies in it. So it's only until I get that back that I'm stuck. But yeah, there's been a few. I guess it's because of the holiday season. There's been a few threads about airports and airline policies and stuff on the UK Vapors forum that I've seen, and yeah, well, I'm planning on doing something if I can pluck up the courage to actually video going through customs. I was stopped again and asked about, it was actually an ego with one of these dual coil jobbies attached to it on Thursday night when I flew home, and it really is now a case of, oh, can you show us what that is in your bag? You take it out, you show them. And on this particular occasion I had a 5ml bottle of juice, an Icon with a cartomizer attached and a drip tip, a spare Ego battery, just a regular one, and then I always put the one that I'm actually using in my bag to go through, because you have to take your jacket off and take your laptops out and everything. So I chuck everything in my bag, shove that through and wait for the questions. And I'd say probably I go through, I fly twice a week, and I'd say I'll probably get stopped about once a fortnight, so about a quarter of the trips, and somebody will say, what is it? And sometimes they'll ask you to demonstrate. And last Thursday, just like every time in the past, the first question you get is, when you say it's an electronic cigarette, is, oh, do they work? Where'd you get them from? It's quite good actually at the moment in the German customs, the German security points, because they Totally Wicked have just opened their German site, haven't they? So I show them an Ego or a Tornado, whatever I happen to have charged at the time, and you can say, yeah, this is what it's called. That's where you go, totallywicked.de, and I like to think I'm converting them one at a time. So yeah, just to wrap that up, this could have been one of those purchases you regret all that money on. It wasn't. I love it, and I shan't be parting with it. Just thought that popped into my mind. Actually, we were talking about comments on forums there, Excuse me, I've got a horrible cold. And somebody, I can't remember who it was now, on the UK Vapors Forum, started a thread the other day showing the amount of stuff they'd amassed, you know, sort of mods and juice and all the rest of it. And I thought, oh, that looks like fun. Maybe we should take a picture of all the things we've bought and all the equipment we've accumulated. I've been vaping, what now, for, well, just about 13 months now. And I was going to take a picture, and then I realised it'd take me hours just to get everything into one place. I've got so much junk. So I think I'm going to have a tidy out at some point in the next couple of weeks. There's a load of stuff in there that I bought thinking it was great, decided it wasn't, don't use. Obviously I've been sent stuff for doing reviews, some of which I use since and some of which I don't. So I'm going to have a sort out. And so keep an eye on the UKV classifieds. and obviously anything that I've been sent free of charge to review or anything, I won't sell or trade. So what I might do, it'll all be used gear obviously, but some of it's only been used for doing the review. Maybe we'll have some competitions or something to get rid of some stuff. I can tell you now, the Icon, the GGTS and the P18 here won't be in what I'm giving away. But I've got some juices and various stuff that are just no use to me. So maybe we'll have a bit of fun and have a competition or two in the coming weeks. I think I'm about done. I'm all spent and used up, and I'm sweating like the proverbial pig, and I can see in the monitor there that I'm very red-faced and sweating. So a raffle at Vapefest? No, some of this stuff probably isn't good enough for that. I mean, I won't send anything like sort of dangerous, I promise. But I think we can probably give away a couple of things. So how about showing how to use a Clearo? This might sound like a convenient answer, a convenient retort, but I honestly don't know where any Clearos are. Now, I've been sent boxes of those things to review, and I've always reviewed one at the packet, and then the packet gets pushed somewhere, and it's in amongst that stuff that I couldn't find. Put it this way, Clearos may feature heavily in any giveaways that I do. I still haven't found that Harry tank. It's in this room somewhere, I think. You don't need to send me any Clearos. I mean, if you want to send me stuff, if you want to take pity on me, send me Vermilion River Range Kentucky Vanilla Blend Juice or RY4. Send me Dual Coil atomisers or expensive mods. You know, that's easy. You know, I'm not difficult. So you won't send me anything decent, and that's what I've come to expect from you lot. Well, when I say you lot, I mean Willow. Stuff to raffle, send them to Canvip. Stuff to send to raffle at the Stay Inside nights. I'd feel a bit guilty raffling stuff that's clearly been used personally, Rusty. I've got, you know, because when people send me stuff to review, I will review it, and therefore it's not new anymore. And I do try to actually put them through their paces, so sometimes I torture them a bit. So whilst they're probably still functional, it probably wouldn't be a great raffle prize. You'd probably do a lot better going to the vendors. I mean, I'll have a look, and if anything fits the bill, then fair enough. But I don't think you really want, you know, some old box mod that's full of juice. So I got some classic CE2R4s, DK. You'll love them. I've tried them though. I've tried just about every derivative of CE2, CE3, and I don't love them, mate. I'm sorry, I don't love them. I don't have 60,000 quid to send you either, Bez. as much as I'd love to. Right, my clock says 1 hour and 1 minute and 5 seconds and ticking now. And it matters these days because if we overrun significantly, it screws up the schedules now. So it is time, guys, for me to say goodnight. And cheers and good night. Hi, this is Dave. Just does what it says on the tin.